sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS.
There's a concept that I learned some number of years ago, and I take it kind of as a rule now for doing business. And the rule is some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? Some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? And the power to me in this phrase, this saying, what it says to me is, this is not about you. And keep your damn emotions out of any sales situation that you're in. How many times I've noticed that whenever I get into an argument with somebody, usually it'd be a family member if I'm arguing, if ever I get emotional, immediately I lose. And I think that's true in life. If you're the one that gets emotional, you freaking lose, because we lose objectivity, we lose kind of our place and our purpose, and all of a sudden we see red behind our eyes, and it's game over. You get used. And that happens in sales too. And it's not necessarily that we get defensive. Maybe we do. Maybe we're scared. Maybe we're afraid that they won't buy. Well, here's the reality. You can't control that. You don't control who buys. You don't control who doesn't buy. And if we could, wouldn't this be easy? But at best, you have 50% control. And so if you recognize that each sale, look at this as a transaction. And some people will say yes, and some people will say no. And then you got to say, so what? Who's the next one? If the yeses, here's the problem with getting yeses. Then we begin to conflate somebody saying yes with us being good. And then all of a sudden we start thinking, well, hell, I'm good. I've gotten a bunch of yeses, so I must be good. And then you don't work as hard, you get lazy. And then all of a sudden you get a couple of no's in a row and you think, holy shit, this is terrible. I can't believe I've done this. Reality is, like I say, you control 50%. As soon as you get your emotions involved in the sales process, where you get pissed or you get overly happy or whatever, you go from being professional to absolute rank amateur. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, but you got to show the prospect how much you want the business. Bullshit, right? What needs to happen is that the prospect explains to you how badly they need your help. And if you're good at sales, somebody can do that. Now, here's the thing. Not everybody's going to do that, because they may not need your service. They may not want to pay what it is that you charge, because they don't have to have it because you hadn't done a good job of finding their pain. But the reality is, if we're more excited about a deal than our prospect is, we're going to screw it up. We get what I call happy ears, where you only hear what you want to hear. And the red flags that are flying in front of your face, you're like, no, that won't happen. That won't happen. Basically, we duck, curl up in a ball on the ground, just hope nothing bad goes wrong. Instead of selling from where I call Hope Island, which is one of the worst pieces of real estate to ever sell from, where you just hope it's going to be different this time, where you hope things are going to be better, where you hope they don't figure out that there's something that's going to kill this deal. Instead of that, I want you to run head first into all the reasons why it doesn't make sense for them to buy. I want you to share with your prospect, here's the thing. We're a very small company. You're a very large company. How are you going to justify this to your boss? You're doing business with us. Or maybe it's, look, we're going to be significantly more expensive than the other company. Any reason we should keep talking? Or you might say, look, this is not the right fit for everybody. I'm not sure it's going to be the right fit for you. Do you mind telling me why you think this works? Because I'm not sure I get it yet. See, it's that kind of, we've talked about being skeptical, but it's that kind of clear-headedness where you are able to say to the prospect, here's some reasons why this might not work. And you don't. And honestly, where you are reveling in getting a no just as much as you are in getting a yes, because a no at the end of the first meeting or the beginning of the first meeting is a whole lot better than a no at the end of the sixth meeting. When you've put together proposals and you've had all this bullshit time that you've wasted with somebody that's not going to buy from you. So the best way that you can begin to get your arms around this, some will, some won't, so what, who's next thing, is to realize you only have control over what you do. And that all you can do is show up and you come with the tools that you have. And the reality is, not everybody's the right fit, right? And it may not be the right time. And just because it's not the right time now doesn't mean they won't need your help in 90 days. Things change significantly during that time. You can't get mad at the prospect for not buying. They ultimately get to make the choice. Just like you get to make the choice to say, I don't think this is going to be the right fit. I think we should move on. So a lot of people are scared as shit to do that, right? They think, I don't want to push back with a prospect because they can go any other place they want to. Well, here's the way you can solve that in your own head is get a decent pipeline. Prospect, set meetings, get in front of people, especially if you're just starting out. I don't give a shit about ideal prospects when you're just starting out. Get in front of people, get practice going through the entire sales process. You're going to have plenty of experience hearing no, right? You're going to get lots of experience with that and learn to accept those for what they are. But as you're moving forward, realize it's going to be okay. I'm going to hear no more than I'm going to hear yes. The more no's I hear, I guess the closer I am to a yes. But don't focus on just the ideals if you're getting started out. Get in front of people. And if there's small deals, that's fine. Just get in front of them. Get used to that. When some of them buy, that's great. When some of them don't buy, that's fine. You've got another prospect to go after next. Here's the thing. I don't want you, as soon as your prospect senses that you're a desperate seller, it's never going to go well for you. Never. They'll take advantage of you. They'll shut the door on you. Or even worse, when you make it about you and you say, if you don't buy this, I'm not going to make my quarter. You won't believe people say that shit. You have to buy. You'll ruin my whole year. Salespeople say that shit. Can you believe it? Don't be that guy. It happens. It happens. Don't be that guy. Let it go. I got a direct message today on LinkedIn from a guy who was offering me some kind of financial planning services. And I emailed him back and I said, thank you very much. I'm very happy with my financial planner. He's part of the family, he's part of my trusted family that's taking care of me. I appreciate it very much. And he emailed back and said, thank you so much for being straight with me. He goes, I try and be that way with other people too. And I realized that most of the time when I tell somebody no, they don't stop. They want to show me more and more and more. I'm like, stop it. Go back to some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Not everybody's a good prospect for you. It's not your responsibility, meaning you can't convert people. You can't convince people. You just need to find people that are willing to have conversations to see, do they have a problem that have a personal, compelling reason to fix it. That's what sales is, having somebody trust you enough to give you money to make that problem go away. That doesn't come from convincing. That comes from asking questions and listening and realizing that not everybody's ready for you yet. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. We have programs for individuals and sales teams that are starting every week. And if you want to have information about that, you want to see if that's something that we should be talking about, email me, walker@walkermckay.com. Go to my website, walkermckay.com, or give me a call, 803-917-2817. Thank you, No BS Sales Team. I appreciate you. Thanks for all your support, for sharing this, and for writing a review on Apple. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.
If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course, 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the OBS Sales School podcast.